So a couple of days ago, Wild Striker Brony did a video entitled, "Who is the real mastermind in Make Your Mark?" And the thumbnail, I think, kind of gives away potentially his feelings as to who it is. Now you might ask yourself, well, what does he mean by, that question? What is he talking about? Well, at the end of the special, which is basically the pilot for the series, we see this dark alicorn, this dark purplish alicorn with what looks like to be turquoise colored hair and a horn representing something similar to maybe the Crystal Empire or someone that's been corrupted. And we also see another unicorn at her side who may or may not play a role in the series and may or may not turn against her boss, that being this alicorn, but that's another story for another time. But when we look at this alicorn, again, like many, I have theorized and speculated it could be several characters. Many have felt it could be a corrupted Twilight who's been corrupted so much in her, pursuit to protect Equestria and preserve friendship and stuff like that. Some feel it could be Cozy Glow, who, when she escaped from the stone prison, which, by the way, they were hinting at the end of the season 10 comic, along with the other villains, it could be her grown up and potentially corrupted by magic that gave her alicorn status once again. Not saying that's entirely true. Others have felt it could be Cozy Glow. Well, not Cozy Glow, but Flurry Heart. It could be Flurry Heart. That is the corrupted alicorn, there. Because of the fact that the horn matches that similar to a corrupted alicorn or pony, but also similar and identical to a crystal pony. So could it be her? We don't know. We don't know whether or not it is her or it isn't. That's one suspicion. Another one is Radiant Hope from the comics. But would that be stretching it? We didn't see Radiant Hope in the series, nor was she acknowledged, as far as I know, in the flashbacks of the Crystalline. So could it be her? Thus confirming that the comics and the show will now sort of be connected as one? We don't know. Or could it be someone entirely new? Could it be maybe Luster Dawn? We don't know. We don't know. But what Wild Striker Brony was bringing up in this video, and again, the title pretty much, asks the question, of who is the real mastermind? Like, who is really behind, the entire situation with this alicorn? Like, who is the one behind, basically wanting to get their hands or the hoofs on all three crystals? Who is behind it? Who is the one, orchestrating this whole plan? And that is a good question. Now, his thumbnail, which I'm going to be using as well as a reply, pretty much, I think, gives away, as I mentioned earlier, his theory as to who he believes it is. And if the marketing in the past is any indication, it just might be that individual. And of course, we're talking about Sombra. Now you might ask yourself, well, how can it be Sombra? He was destroyed. He was killed, not once, but twice. Literally obliterated the last time by the main six. So how could it be him? Well, here's the theory I have. He could, and this could be something Hasbro or maybe even the creators of G5 would mess with, he could end up being sort of in the same veins as, let's say, a Starscream. Like I mentioned in my Lianda video, how I looked at her as being like the Starscream of the comics, no matter what faction or group she was in. Sombra, his death could be, paying homage, if the G5 crew decides to goes this direction, I should say. His death could pay homage to Starscream's. In other words, physically he's not around, but spiritually he still is. So who's to say they may not go that route, and he's just a disembodied spirit floating around manipulating this alicorn to do his bidding to get the 3 crystals. I'm just saying. That's a potential direction to go in. But then again, maybe the comics already gave us an idea of who it could be. Yeah. Because when you think about it, maybe the comics let us know that perhaps it's Discord. Yeah. A little bit of spoilers here, but Discord was the one that stole the Pegasus crystal. Now apparently, I haven't read the newest issues yet, and maybe you guys can correct me down below in the live chat, but Discord, obviously, from what I've heard and read, believes that taking this Pegasus crystal might bring back Fluttershy. I'm just saying. So what if it's Discord? What if it's Discord that manipulates this alicorn to get the crystal so he can not only resurrect, Fluttershy, but the rest of the main 6, or main 7, if you will, main 8, depending on how you view it. What if that's his agenda? Like, hey, if I get these crystals, I could resurrect the main group. I could resurrect Twilight, I could resurrect Fluttershy, I could resurrect Applejack, Rarity, Pinky, Rainbow Dash, Spike, Starlight. What if that's his intention? What if he is the one pulling the strings just because he wants his friends back? It's a possibility. And let's be honest, it's not out of his realm. It really isn't. It's not out of the realm of possibility, because if you go back to the season premiere of the final season, beginning of the end, it pretty much shows that he knows necromancy, and he knows how to bring back the freaking dead. So why not, take it another step by utilizing these crystals to not only bring back potentially the love of his life, Fluttershy, back to the living, but also bring back the rest of the group. It's something to think about. It's something to think about, going forward. And I know some people might say, well, people are criticizing, Make Your Mark as being a step backwards from what, the movie was, that, it's a sequel to, and da-da-da. Yeah, I understand that. I get that. And yeah, there are moments in the special that feel like it's a step back. But what they're doing with the special is just setting up the status quo for the series. So, who's to say when the series comes around, and we kind of see it with the comics, that basically it's not going to be something we'll all enjoy. I think it will be. I think the series is going to be a lot better than what people are giving it credit for. We just got to be patient. We have another 2 months before it shows up, and believe me, I think the patience will be worth it. Now, if it does seem like it's going backwards, then hey, that's on the people at Boredom Media and the people writing the series. But if you have some of the original staff behind the new working behind the scenes with the new series that worked on the original, that have an understanding of what made the original, G4 Friendship is Magic so popular and a phenomenon, then I think we're going to be in good hands. The thing with the special, the pilot, is, again, they were setting up the status quo and showing that some ponies like Posey, or this interpretation of Posey, basically we're not sure as of yet of allowing magic back into the world, especially to other pony races that could probably use it against them. But the end result is, hey, we got magic of our own, so there you go. Again, it was to set up the status quo. But to get back on track, if the comics, as I said in one video, is hinting at us as to what potentially could be in the future, with the series, I wouldn't put it past them to probably write in the fact that the mastermind behind the alicorn going after the crystals, instead of being Sombra, it could be Discord, with Discord's intention of, I just want Fluttershy back as well as I want the others back. Because again, if that's what's being alluded to in the comics right now as we speak, I wouldn't put it past them to put that into the show. I wouldn't put it past them to put that into the show. So it'll be interesting to eventually find out who potentially really is behind this whole ordeal. Whether or not it is just the alicorn herself, or it might be let's be honest. Okay? It could be that small pony. Because we know of series, believe you me when I say this, we know of series that have had episodes, multi-part episodes, where the character you least expect is the true villain, is the true manipulator. And who's to say that little unicorn at her side isn't the true manipulator? That's just one thing to keep an eye out for as well. But with that said, there are possibilities that there is someone more powerful behind this. Could it be Sombra? As a disembodied spirit voice manipulating the situation? Kind of manipulating potentially Radiant Hope, if this is her, into doing this, or Flurry Heart into doing this, or even Cozy Glow into doing this, if it is her, or even manipulating Twilight, and Twilight's unaware of it. If this is her as well, we don't know. And it could be Discord too. If it's Discord, maybe this is Flurry Heart. Maybe this is, Radiant Hope. And he knows of a way to, and he's basically telling them, hey, you help me do this, get Fluttershy back, get my friends back, and I can help you get back to Sombra you love back. You just have to correct the crystals because you and Sombra would be the rightful rulers. Maybe he threw that in, like, hey, you get this. Not only does it make you a princess officially, or a queen, but it'll allow you to bring back Sombra with my help. At the same time, I bring back my friends, but I can bring back Sombra the way you remember him, and thus you can both rule as king and queen. That's something that's something to look at as well. But again, we don't know. The other possibility is it could be Grogar. Finally, it could be. For once, it could be the original Grogar. And the reason I would say that is, what better way to make up for the disappointment a lot of fans looked at when they saw that Discord was Grogar in disguise. Discord was pretending to be Grogar in disguise, is what I'm trying to say. Imagine how satisfactory it could be if the real Grogar is a disembodied spirit voice, just like Sombra could be, manipulating the whole thing to get the crystals, to reactivate his power, reactivate his bell, and go from there. We know that the bell is housed in the lighthouse, or at least in the new and improved lighthouse in Maritime Bay. So we know it's there. What if Grogar can sense it even in his disembodied vessel? What if he's able to sense it and realizes, hey, these crystals basically. Hold on. All right, sorry, I almost lost my train of thought there. But let's say he notices that these crystals that Twilight has created for each pony race is basically the opportunity he needs to get back to full power. That's something to look at too. So, whoever it is, really, it will be quite the revelation. I will admit that. It will be quite the revelation of whether or not it's Sombra, whether or not it's, Grogar, whether or not it's Discord, all with different agendas, if you will. And whoever this pony is, this alicorn is that they're manipulating, whether it's Radiant Hope, whether it's Cozy, whether it's Flurry, maybe even potentially Twilight. It'll be interesting to see. And again, we have to keep an eye on that one unicorn at her side, because we don't know whether or not that's the true mastermind and she's just a manipulative puppet, being, controlled by her, but it doesn't seem like it. So you got to keep an eye out for that, because like I said before, we've seen that before in some shows. You got to keep an eye out for that. But again, it could be any one of them. It could be any one of them. But if I was to take that unicorn at her side at the end of the special, the pilot, put that theory to the side right now, then the potential of the three that I've talked about, that is, with their own agendas, that is, strong speculation on a lot of people's part, a lot of fans' part, especially with their agendas. I mean, Sombra would want control again over the Crystal Empire and maybe all of Equestria if he was able to get these pony crystals, in his grasp, and and by doing so, he has to manipulate this Alicorn, who could be Radiant Hope, to do it. Discord, his agenda is, hey, if you help me get these, I can not only can I use them to bring back Fluttershy and her friends, but I could also help bring back Sombra the way you know it, if it is Radiant Hope that's the Alicorn. That's something. Or it could be Grogar that's manipulating her to, use the crystals to repower his bell and thus be powerful again. There's a lot of possibilities. And then again, you got to look at that small unicorn. Like I said, we're going to say that, you could save that theory for another time, but look at that small unicorn. And it's like, yeah, she is someone to look out for, but still, she could be a suspect. Not saying she is, because a lot of people feel that she'll be the kind that will turn against her boss, the Alicorn, and join with Sunny and her crew. But it is something to look at and theorize for the near future. It really is. But like I said, there's many theories and speculations, when it comes to this mysterious Alicorn, of who she is and potentially who is really pulling the strings, behind the scenes, most importantly her strings, if you will, that we don't know about. So there's a lot of possibilities. But what do you guys think? Do you think that there is more than just this Alicorn that's behind this entire situation? Do you think like Wild Strike Pony or Wind Strike Pony, and I do apologize if I pronounce that wrong, I really do. That's my fault, but let me check again. Yeah, Wind Strike Pony, not Wild Strike Pony. Wind Striker Pony, not Wild Striker Pony. I do apologize if I said that wrong. But do you agree with what he has to say about it? Do you think there's somebody else pulling the strings? Do you think maybe from his thumbnail that it could be Sombra? Or do you think maybe some of the theories I came up with? Do you think it could be Discord, wanting to try to bring back, Fluttershy and her friends? And if this is Radiant Hope, I should say, then he made a deal with her that, hey, if you help me do this, I will also bring back Sombra, but the way you remember him. Could that be what, what's going on and who's behind the whole thing? Or could it be Grogar? Could he be the one pulling the strings to get back his ultimate power, with his bell, and knowing that these crystals are the key to doing it? What are your thoughts? Let me know down below in the comment section below, as well as in the live chat during the premiere, where super chats and super stickers, as described in the description, will be appreciated and all will be open. Also, super thanks afterwards would be greatly appreciated. Also, you can follow me on TikTok at BWRoses, 98 I think, or BWRoses at TikTok, as well as you could follow me on my Teespring. Also, you can check out my Teespring store as well, get merchandise there. As well as you can check me out at patreon.com, help support me there with a $1, $3 tier. Also check me out on all your favorite audio podcast locations except for Pandora at BW Roses Discussions. Also check me out and support me at Venmo at Brian-Walmer-2 and at Cash App at BW Roses 98. And again, guys, you can also find me at TikTok at BW Roses. So until next time, guys, let me know what your thoughts are down below. Like I said, comment in the live chat during the premiere. Super thanks will be enabled after the premiere, and super chats, super thanks, or super stickers, I should say, will be enabled during the live chat of the premiere. But let me know what your thoughts are, guys. And Wind Striker Pony, I'd love to hear your response as well, my friend. I would like to know what your thoughts are on my theories of who the 3, potentially 4, but mainly 3 could be, as the masterminds. Love to hear your theory on it, my friend. And until next time, guys, I will talk to you all later.